Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to summertime. It's almost as bad as Florida here in central Indiana. Hello, Ross. Last time I checked, our heat index was 101, and in Disney World it was 104. So that's pretty close to being Florida-like. And it looks like everything's working, although I can't see the camera very well. That's interesting. I must have screwed something up. Anyway, we can just go by the little bitty picture and we'll move forever onward and upward. Want to give a couple of shout outs. Wow, you're worse than Florida. Hey, it's our John's.
Hi,
All right,
Richard.
our live stream
Hi,
is
Richard.
now official. Hi, Richard. How are you? Couple of shout outs before we get started. I really want to shout out Greg's Disney's Adventures. He's a pretty good friend, and we talk a lot in Messenger and stuff. And we're really looking. Hello, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
We're really looking forward to meeting up with Greg when we get down to Disney World. And of course, we have to shout out Resort TV One, because without them, this wouldn't be possible, because they're the ones that talked me into doing all of this. And also Dean from Dreamers Empire and the Live Place. He is wonderful enough to post my silliness on his website so people can come watch. Anyway, one more thing before we really dive into the subject. We are members of the Disney Movie Club, and we got the copy of Dumbo in the mail this last week, and included with the Dumbo was a couple of cool extra things. One is like a sticker or decal or whatever you want to call it. And another thing that's really cool, although we won't ever use them,
Not for what they're intended
since
to be
we
used
collect
for.
popcorn buckets. This isn't a bucket, but they sent us a couple of
Yeah.
Dumbo popcorn bags.
This was kind of a surprise. We didn't know about it.
Yeah,
It was kind of fun.
something else to put in our Disney cabinet behind us. So anyway, the subject today is rides at Epcot. And things have really kind of changed over the years, a lot more than I had thought when I first started researching this subject. My first trips were in the 70s, and of course Epcot wasn't even there yet. And then life intervened and I got married and stuff, and we didn't get back until 93. And by that time, Epcot was there, and we got to see some of the original stuff.
Yeah.
I guess we'll start as we walk in the park. First thing everybody comes to is Spaceship Earth, but it's always the last thing that we ride, because everybody goes to Spaceship Earth right away, and the line is just ridiculous. So if you wait until like the last ride of the day, usually it's a walk-on. Thanks for saying that, Ross. I was going to say everybody share it out, and I think everybody that's on is subscribed, so I won't say anything about subscribing. So anyway, Spaceship Earth has had 4 different narrators. Most of the scenes have stayed close to being the same. The first narrator I had never heard of, Lawrence Dobkin. The first one I ever remember hearing was Walter Cronkite. And of course, I grew up listening to Walter Cronkite in the 60s with all the space shots and stuff. So Walter Cronkite, I think, has to be my favorite narrator. And of course, there's Dame Judi Dench and Jeremy Irons. Do you have a particular favorite?
No, they're all good. I kind of like Dame Judi Dench. Like when you're going through the ride and listening to her, it's just, I don't know. I like it.
Oh, all right.
one
Well,
sticks in
you're
my
allowed
mind.
to like something different than me.
Thank you.
Oh, one other thing I forgot to tell everybody, the new stuff we got. I got a new hat. My daughter gave me this for Father's Day, and it's kind of a 4th of July hat. But the cool thing is this little button right here, on the underneath side of it, it's a bottle opener. So I'll never be without a bottle opener. I just kind of, after we got to Spaceship Earth, I just kind of picked a direction. And with the first one we came to was Universe of Energy. I remember that pre-Ellen. And honestly, I think I preferred it before Ellen. Ellen's a little silly, in my opinion. I think 96 was when Ellen came along.
I don't remember it much before that, but I had only gone like that one time,
Right.
hadn't I?
Yeah, we'd only
we've
ridden it
gone-
the one time
yeah.
before it became Ellen's, I think.
I
And of
was
course,
deprived.
now it's not even there anymore because it's going to be a roller coaster, which I'm not sure whether I'll ride on or not. I'm not a big roller coaster person anyway, but a roller coaster where the cars turn so they can point you whatever direction they want, I'm not sure about that.
Kind of lose control a little.
Yeah, I
You're at the
understand, Ross. I
mercy.
agree. And then, of course, after Universe Energy, we move to Josh's favorite ride, Horizons. We'd ridden Horizons a few
At
times.
Epcot, his favorite ride is TTA,
Well, yeah, all right. His favorite ride at Epcot.
because that's mine.
Horizons was,
Hey,
was
Bob,
pretty.
welcome.
Hey, Bob, how are you?
I was hoping you'd be here.
Yeah, we're talking about your place today, Bob.
Your park, like you own it.
Had gone on Horizons a few times. I know the original premise from what I was able to research was Horizons was kind of a sequel to Carousel of Progress, carried on farther into the future than Carousel of Progress did. But all things must come to an end, and as cool as Horizons was words are hard. Never mind. They closed it down and turned it into probably my favorite ride in all of Epcot, Mission Space.
Oh.
And I know that nobody's probably going to agree with me, but I dearly love Mission Space. I can, walk through the single rider line since she doesn't ride it very often, and ride it, and I'll
Oh,
get
no,
off.
I don't ride the regular one
Well,
at
yeah,
all.
you won't ride the orange side. I have gotten you
No.
on the green side one time.
One time. And it wasn't bad. I'll probably do it again. I just can't do the.
Well, I might have to agree to disagree, Bob. I mean, Horizons was okay, but Mission Space is my ride. Because I literally will ride it 3, 4, 5 times in a row.
You're crazy.
Some people have told me that I am crazy. Moving on around from that, we come to
Me too, Ross.
World of Motion. I don't remember a lot about World of Motion other
I
than
don't either.
when it first started. You get in the car and you take off, and suddenly you find yourself outside of the building, and you go on up and you go through the whole ride. I thought that was really. Oh, come on, Bob. There you go, Richard. Richard will ride Mission Space with me.
There you go, Richard. You two can just do it over and over again. I'll wait for you outside.
World of Motion closed, I think, in '96. Two Real Geeks, welcome. Glad you could join us. And they turned it into Test Track. And Test Track, I think, opened around '99. And a couple of different. Another Mission Space person. We're all right. There we go. We're getting some good people in here now.
What? You are terrible. Don't listen to him.
All of us space geeks got to stick together.
Well, yeah. Geeks are geeks.
I prefer. I mean, the Test Track today is pretty cool. The whole designing your car thing is really fascinating. But I really prefer the original ride where it was a test track. I mean, you walk through the queue, and they did all of the testing things with the test dummies and stuff.
Yeah, that was fun.
And then you go to the cobblestones and the difference between ABS brakes and regular brakes, and the hot room and the cold room, the paint room. And then you get just before you go outside, it shows a car crashing into a barrier,
Yeah,
and
you guys are
you
funny.
come to a stop, and it looks like the barrier's right in front of you, and it's oh my god! And of course, away you go. So I prefer the original. I still like Test Track. I ride it, as much as I can.
Yeah, we don't usually miss it if we can help it.
Yeah, it depends on the lines.
Yeah.
I mean, we go often enough now. I mean, we don't live down there, but
Yet.
maybe someday.
Yeah.
Yet,
I'm working on it.
Working on it.
I applied for like 10 jobs today in Orlando.
We're got to the point where we've gone so many times, and unless it's a brand new ride that we have to do, if the line's longer than 10, 15 minutes, we'll see, we'll hit that next time. Moving on from Test Track, we get around to the Living Seas. I know everybody has differing opinions about Disney and making everything IP for the rides. And Nemo is pretty cool, but I really preferred the original Living Seas. The hydrolators was a neat concept, even though they didn't go anywhere. They tried to make it look like you were. And, originally you had the Sea Cab ride, which was similar to what the ride is today, but it was a little more extensive. I remember we got to ride through one section, and you could look up and look through the aquarium up over your head.
Yeah, that was cool.
And during one of the refurbs, they took the hydrolator out, they took the sea cabs out, everything else stayed the same, and then they put the ride back in when they opened up Nemo. I mean, there you go. Bob agrees with me on that one. Nemo's okay. It's cute. I mean, it's kind of for kids,
You
and the
guys are
technology of putting Nemo, on the screens in front of the aquarium is pretty cool. But yeah, the original was by far and away the better, best. Boy, I'm having trouble today.
Is that where Crush is?
What?
Turtle Talk, is that over there?
Yeah,
Okay.
Crush is down there somewhere. I don't think we've ever done Crush.
We haven't done it. We've
stuck our head in and looked.
Yeah, and watched.
My favorite
The
thing to
kids.
do is go watch the dolphins and go watch the manatees,
Manatees are really awesome. Just like big pillows.
especially if they just had fed them, and
Yeah.
they're a little more animated.
Yeah.
After the Living Seas, we come to the Land, which was originally called Listen to the Land, which I didn't remember, but that's what the interweb tells me. Hey, Snow White, welcome. I'm glad you could join us.
Hi, Snow.
And of course, with Listen to the Land, you had the normal ride, pretty much the same as it is now.
Yeah, that's always been a good one.
But they also had Kitchen Cabaret, which was just
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Kitchen Cabaret, I think, closed in '94, so we only got to see that one once.
Yeah.
But then they turned it into Food Rocks, and it was almost as good.
Yeah, that was a good one if anybody's seen that. If not, you
New
have to go
favorite
find
ride,
videos.
Living with the Land. I like it a lot, Bob.
I do too.
In fact, I shot a video of it, I think, this last trip that I put on the channel.
And we did the Behind the Seeds tour, which is behind.
Well, I was going to get to that.
Oh,
You're
I'm sorry.
jumping ahead of my notes.
Oh, I apologize.
All right, I forgive you this time. Don't let it happen again. Of course, they closed Kitchen Cabaret, Food Rocks, and almost every other attraction in the building because they put in Soarin'.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was Soarin' opened in I think 2005. I have veggie, fruit. I have problem with heights.
Yes, it is too geeks.
So Soarin', depending on which row I'm in, kind of bothers me.
We haven't done. Yeah, we did the new one.
We've sat in each row of Soarin', and the front row, which goes up the highest, bothers me the most. It makes me a little nervous. The middle row and the back row don't seem to bother me, even though you're almost up just as high. but I think seeing the people's feet in front of my eyes kind of helps me a little bit with being nervous about the heights. Of course, then Soarin' changed the movie from to Soaring Around the World. What is Soarin'? Is it some kind of flying? You know, I think it's like you're on a hang glider, Bob.
Overgrown erector set.
I think the second movie is cool, and I like the movie, but I think the original ride was better because, and I don't know, maybe the smells that they used were caught your senses more or something, but I think the first movie smelled better. The second movie doesn't smell as nice.
Now you smell the feet.
Yeah, now you smell the feet hanging in front of your face. And of course, behind the scenes tour, we've done that one time.
It was so fun.
If you have not done it, you need to. It's the least expensive tour on Disney property. When we took it, it was like $12. I think it's up to about $20 now. But you get to walk through the greenhouses. Yeah, hey, I'm waiting for the full illuminations in your yard, Bob. I saw the test run, which you did pretty well. Anyway, behind the scenes, it's a walking tour through the greenhouses, and it's. Did it really used to be free? Oh, I didn't realize that. And it is really cool being able to get up close to the plants and stuff. And the girl that did our tour was really knowledgeable about all of the different plants and stuff.
Yeah, it was a little bit educational, but it was fun
Yeah,
educational.
it's very educational. And it seems like they gave us something to taste.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember either.
And then, of course, we have.
Oh, cool, Ross.
Would I miss one?
Well, no, up until 2005.
Oh, 2005 they
free.
started
I
charging
had no
for
idea
it.
because we didn't do it. Of course,
Yeah.
naturally, we didn't do it until you had to pay for it.
Well, yeah, that makes perfect sense. We miss all the free stuff. Then, of course, we have the. I bet that was interesting, Bob.
Oh, yeah, that would have been.
We have Wonders of Life. The pavilion is still there, but they don't use it for much of anything anymore. Well,
Yeah.
up until now. They always did all of the food and wine stuff in there.
Oh, yes, Ross. Garden Grill. We haven't done that in a long time.
Oh,
We've done
yes,
it several times.
Yeah,
but
I'm
it's
going to have
been
to
a
go back to
while.
Garden Grill.
Yeah.
Wonders of Life had Body Wars, which was basically Star Tours inside the human body.
I didn't like that.
It really wasn't as good a ride as Star Tours. It seemed, for some reason, maybe floating around in a person's bloodstream is more turbulent than floating around in space. I don't know. But Cranium Command, which I thought was pretty cute. They now have.
Yes, it was weird.
Yeah, it will definitely. And that one, what they call it, some beginning of me or something.
I think that
about
was right. Yeah.
having a baby and stuff. Yeah, I knew that, Ross. And not one of the best science fiction movies in the world, but still not bad. Of course, it is closed now. They're not going to do any more festival events there. But yeah, I thought the ride was a lot rougher, Bob, than Star Tours is.
Yes.
Making of Me, that was it. They're turning it into a play area. Some of the find Buzzy. Some of the concept art for the play area looks really, really cool. I'm not sure it's that much for adults, but we're all kids at heart, or we wouldn't be going to Disney all the time. From what I heard, they're going to move all of the festival events over to the Odyssey, and that's pretty much going to be ground zero for festival stuff, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Because we like festivals there.
Well, we like some. I'm not as big on Flower and Garden as I am on Food and Wine because, let's be honest, I'm only there for the food. But in fact, I've already checked all the menus and decided what I want to get at Food and Wine when we get there. After Wonders of Life, we get to the Imagination Pavilion, the scene of much controversy. I rode the original. I think we rode the original once with Dreamfinder, and of course Figment was a big part of it.
Yeah.
And then Disney and their Infinite was. Oh, and my favorite part of the whole thing was the Rainbow Tunnel, which of course they took out. They always take out things that I like. They changed the ride after a refurb. They took out Dreamfinder. They took out Figment. And there was such an outcry over no Figment. They put Figment back in, sort of.
Yeah. That's
You're right,
the
Bob.
problem.
Original Figment, it was much better. And I like Dreamfinder. I thought that whole concept. Rainbow Tunnel, well, yeah, but not exactly the same as
Yeah.
at Ross.
It's a little different.
Then on the outside, over to the side, they did this thing called Magic Journeys from '83 to '86.
Oh, fun.
They closed that for Captain EO. Ran from I think '86 to '94, and I never saw the original Captain EO. When EO closed down, they changed it to the Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, which we did a lot. That was probably one of the better 3D movies they had, or 4D, or whatever you want to call it, because there's all other things going on. And then after Michael Jackson died, they took out Honey, I Shrunk the Audience and put Captain EO back in, sort of. They called it Captain EO Tribute, which is the one I saw, and it was pretty good if you like Michael Jackson movies or music. It wasn't terrible, and I guess right now all they're doing there is I know that I keep seeing they're doing a lot of Pixar shorts and stuff like that. I think we've just about made our way around Future World, except for Communicore, which isn't anymore. Well, it wasn't anymore before that, but it's really not going to be anymore now. Communicore was the original name for Interventions. I think they changed it to Interventions in like '94. Other than Club Cool going to close, they stabbed us in the heart again. Yes, I saw that. They got rid of Beverly. I think you can still get it over at the Coke store in Disney Springs, though, can't you, Ross? Communicore and Interventions, multiple different exhibits. We would wander through there on occasion to do different things. My two favorite things we ever did was the House of the Future.
Yeah, that was cool.
Which was an interesting, although, all of I've got a couple of clips of it on the channel, but all of the technology in the House of the Future now is so outdated it would be laughable. And probably the most fun thing to do is they had this little section set up where you could learn to ride a Segway. And we did that like 2 or 3 times just because it was fun. And we'd planned on doing the Segway tour at Epcot, but never got around to doing it before they got rid of it. Although they still have the one in Fort Wilderness, I believe. And
with any luck, we might be camping there in May.
You better get a job.
I'm working on it.
And of course, I don't know. It's so hard to tell from all the concept art for the new stuff that's coming, whether they're actually going to tear down the buildings or whether they're just going to rehab the inside of them. Club Cool, I think, is coming back after all of the renovation is done, but that's going to be a couple of years. Of course, you notice they're going to close Club Cool, but no, they're going to relocate the Starbucks. I'm sure Jenna had something to do with that. She won't drink Beverly, but she likes Starbucks. Well, Snow, it's really not bad. I think Epcot will really be a different place when they're done, and they're going to put some stuff back and some new stuff. I mean, the new entryway is just going to be outstanding. I love the fact they're going to put the original futuristic statue back in the fountain at the entrance, and I'm thrilled to no end that they're taking the gravestones out, or that's what I always called them, which is the leave a legacy stones. They're going to move those outside the park. But I always thought it was just kind of made the entrance a little ugly. I was not, like Ice Station cool.
Yeah.
Do you remember that, Bob? They used to have this like wall of ice, and you come in and touch it, and you can see how cold it was. Yeah. And if you touched it long enough, you could leave your handprint in it. Then you wander back. Not too many things to do ride-wise in the country pavilions. There's a couple.
Future World? No.
Huh? What?
I'm just...
You're mumbling to yourself?
I'm mumbling, sorry.
All right, I understand. I'll forgive you this time. Two basic attractions that are rides were Mexico, which was El Rio del Tiempo from 1982 to 2007. And then, of course, they had to throw Donald and everybody in it and make it the Grand Fiesta Tour.
That's fun. I love that.
All you have to do is, if you like that ride, all you have to do is watch Resort TV 1 every Friday night when they're at Epcot, and they'll ride it. I'll guarantee you. That's almost a lock, just like TCA is when they're at Magic. I don't know which one I like the best. I think I was always more fascinated. Oh, is that what I never didn't actually know what that meant, Ross. I just tried to butcher the Spanish.
It was a little more informative.
Yeah, it was a little more educational. Of course, Epcot was always a little more educational in the old days. I always thought, and they still have it in the Grand Fiesta Tour, the fireworks effect on the ceiling is just so cool. Oh, well, two real geeks, thanks for stopping by. You can always watch it after we're done if you feel like seeing what you've missed. It'll be posted at some point in time or another. And then we're. Do you really, Ross? Now, see, I'm not sure. I can't. But it's not my favorite ride, regardless. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying it's a little cuter, a little more fun. The music's it just, 6 1/2 dozen. Hi, Dean.
Dean.
Oh, you're loud in my ear.
Oh, sorry. Well, you got big ears. That's why. My, what big ears you have, my dear.
I need big ears. I don't hear so well anymore.
Yeah, well, we are getting old. Disney's about the only thing that keeps us young.
At least you have one, Dean. I don't right now, so.
Well,
but I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other ride was probably, I imagine Lori's going to say is her favorite ride of all time in Epcot will be Maelstrom in Norway.
Yeah, I'd love that. I would go on that by myself when he was doing stuff I didn't want to do.
Well, yeah, I'd go ride Mission Space. You'd walk back and watch Maelstrom. Maelstrom, I think, closed in 2014, and of course they turned it into Frozen Ever After, which isn't a bad ride.
No,
don't get me wrong.
Much better than I thought it was going to be.
I love Olaf.
Excuse me.
I mean, his audio animatronic is really good. Good job, Bob. I like that idea.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if bosses would really let their employees get away with that, it would probably help the Disney live stream community tremendously.
And the morale of their
employees. Yeah, we can't forget that, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of agree, Ross, just largely because it was my favorite ride. But, the Frozen is what it is.
Well, I thought that the coolest part of Maelstrom was when you're going backwards and it looks like your boat's going to go out the hole over the cliff.
Yeah.
We already talked those, Dean. But you can ask Bob my opinion on Horizons. Horizons was okay, but I'm a mission space guy all day long. And World of Motion was cool, but I'm more partial to Test Track, but the original Test Track where it was really like a test track. So that catches you all up. Other things, let's see. There's a movie in Canada. What? Yeah, it's just okay. Um, totally derailed my train of thought, guys. Movie in Canada. I actually like the walk back to the theater more than I like the movie. The theming back there is just so cool. Of course, they took out one of my. Me and Dean are leaving now.
No.
They took out one of my favorite things, is Off Kilter.
What is that, Ross? I can't see. Can't tell what that is.
I can't tell what that is either. All right, I'm sorry. I can see right now I have upset Dean to the point he probably won't ever list one of my live streams on the live place ever again.
I'll work on him, Dean. I'll tell him to watch his mouth in your presence.
Don't get me
okay,
wrong. I
Ross.
liked Horizons. I liked the story that it told, but Test Track's just more fun. Horizons is more cerebral. Test Track is more get you in the gut. Anyway, they took away Off Kilter, who played there for years and years and years.
But I have to say something about Off Kilter, okay?
All right, yes, I know what this is going to be. You have the floor,
right.
my dear.
Thank you. Okay, I love their music, I do. But they are not very friendly outside. You know, a lot of performers at Disney, when you walk up to meet them after a performance or whatever, like the Jameters for Bill, for
Yes,
one.
love the jam.
But anyway, you know, they're at least receptive. In my opinion, it's kind of like meeting a crabby cast member. When you talk to when they stand on stage and they practically beg you to come up and meet them, and then you meet them and they're not very friendly. That just, you know. But I still like their music, so that was kind of an off experience for me. Ooh, that's hot.
Yeah, I guess I did. When we walked back out of Future World, I did forget about the Jameters. I like the Jameters
He
a lot.
interacts with the Jameters every time we see them, and every time we see them, we stop and listen. Oh, okay, Dean. So it wasn't just me. Because I'm pretty friendly, and you know, I guess maybe I can be a little boisterous and.
Well, I don't know. You can be hard to get along with sometimes.
Don't tell me about that.
Oh, I guess I'm not supposed to tell family secrets, huh? Most honorary group of performers I've ever met. Well,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, maybe.
I'm glad to see we're not the only ones.
Yeah. So anyway, that was just.
Yeah, and that's rare in Disney. Most all of them are, more than happy to meet you.
I mean, we met Virginia Madsen at Illuminations, and she was just like, you know, we'd known her forever, and she was our best friend. So hey, and she's a much bigger star than they are.
Yeah, good point. And of course, you talk about the ultimate in friendly. Yeehaw, Bob.
Oh my word.
I am so looking forward to, and I don't know if I'll live stream it, but I for sure will record it.
Oh yeah.
Yeehaw Bob is scheduled to play at the Indie Disney Meet this fall in September. So I am looking forward to seeing Bob again.
Yeah, and I wish all of you could come. It was a blast last year. It was our first time at that one, and we have even more going on this year.
Yeah, I think the biggest independent Disney meetup in the country.
Yeah, and we have Lou. Lou's going to be there again this
Yeah,
year.
Lou Mongello's coming back.
And
they're good. Somebody, one of the podcast people is going to be interviewing, I believe, an Imagineer.
oh yeah. I'd forgotten about that.
And what's the guy's name? They're having. I can't think of his podcast, but he does a podcast all about Star Wars.
Yeah.
And he's going to be there, and I'm sure he's going to be talking about Galaxy's Edge.
Yep. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. So,
Bob has
oh.
never seen Bob. Oh my God.
Oh, Ross, I didn't think you were going to.
Well,
That
yeah, I
would be
thought
wonderful.
that had changed, Ross.
Yeah.
Bob, next time you're down there, you really need to try to get over to the River Roost at what's the name of that hotel?
What are we talking about?
Where
I'm
Bob
chatting.
plays.
Oh,
Dixie Landings is all I can think of.
yeah.
It's not Dixie Landing. Oh, Port Orleans Riverside. The bar at Port Orleans Riverside, Bob. And if you get a chance and he's playing, he's usually there 3 or 4 nights a week. And I don't know
Oh my goodness,
if you
Dean.
partake in the adult beverages or not, but you'll go in and you'll have an adult beverage or so, and he gets the audience up and dancing, and he had all of the men get up and we were parading around the whole bar. It was just hysterical. What's going on? Did I miss something?
No.
Oh, all right.
Snow's going to be at the meet, and I was just telling her I can't wait to meet her in person.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
And then I was just commenting on what Ross said about Off Kilter hasn't been able to get bookings since they left Disney.
Oh, really?
They broke up.
Oh, I
Yeah.
hadn't heard any of
Yeah,
that. Well, of
huh?
course, Ross knows everybody there is to know in the world.
Well, he was in the music business, so.
He's been in the music business and the travel business and the business. He's just full of business. He's good at giving people the business.
You need to give someone the business on Tuesday, Ross. Big time.
Let's see. We were at Off Kilter. What's next around the World Showcase? I can't remember without looking at a map. I know there's a movie in France, home of your favorite restaurant.
Ah.
And,
Networker, that's right, Ross. Yay, and thank you.
There's a movie in China.
Yeah. Now, isn't it the movie in Canada or the movie in France? One of those is getting ready to change. It seems like. Anybody know about that?
It seems like they just redid a couple of those, but I don't remember what all I've heard.
Those movies are a nice place to go in and cool down on a hot day at Epcot, and they're usually not too crowded.
No. And of course, after spending a long day, it's not a ride, it's not an attraction, but it's maybe I'm just simple minded, I don't know. Of course, you do illuminations, which I won't ever get to see again other than on video. But we will get to see the new one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
4 days after it starts,
Yeah,
which is kind of cool.
That'll be cool.
Yeah. No, Bob, it does not. If you
That'll be fun.
picture France in your mind, and the entrance right past the restaurant where they have the fountains, you walk straight back to the movie. That's all. None of that changes from what I've seen on the construction videos that I've watched and the plans that I've seen. Is if you go to the right of that area or over towards the canal, and they're building a whole new walkway back around behind France, and actually where Ratatouille is going to go used to be all backstage. So I know they're putting a new restaurant back there. They're putting Ratatouille back there. So the movie and none of France will change. It's actually just getting bigger.
That's one of my favorites. I love Germany too.
Oh yes, nothing like you could eating at the German restaurant. I do love that.
And getting down on the floor in the front with all the kids and stuff and dancing around and having a good time.
Yes, well I don't I don't get around and dance, but
No,
I'm just old stick in the mud.
No, you have a video camera and you take.
Well, that's true.
Although you didn't get Jennifer.
That is a great excuse now for me not participating in audience participation events. I got to be using the camera. I'm hoping. It seems like I said something about that on a live stream. Wonder what they're going to do with that when Illuminations is gone. And I bet there's a place in Minnesota that could use it.
Oh, too funny. Oh, really? We haven't done Tepanito.
No, we have not done Tepanito. In fact, I don't think we haven't done any of the Japan sit down restaurants or the China sit down restaurant.
Well, and here's the reason why Asian food is not my favorite. However, and this is a big joke between Bill and I.
Yeah.
I usually will be negative about something for whatever the reason, and then once he talks me into trying it, what?
Maybe it'll go up on eBay.
Anyway, once he talks me into trying it, I like it. So I'm not scratching those off my list. We just haven't done them yet. Oh, really? China is
Yeah,
just
now I
famous.
enjoyed
Yeah.
the China fast food restaurant. We
did that with Josh and Jenna.
we spent one afternoon with Josh and Jenna in
At
Epcot,
Epcot, yeah.
and just the four of us. And we took them up to the DVC Lounge in the Imagination Building, and
That's before they got as huge as they are.
yeah, we're there. We probably don't rate with them anymore.
Oh.
They've outgrown us.
No.
But we all went to
Boo-hoo.
lunch at the Chinese fast food. And it was pretty good. I was actually surprised.
Well, we'll have to try that, Ross. Indeed.
Yeah, we'll have to put that.
Oh, I love seafood. Yeah,
Well,
we'll have to try that.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Is that the one where they cook in front of you, like a Benihana?
I don't. Might be. I don't remember.
Well, I'm sure somebody will answer that question here momentarily. That's one thing about my live streams. The chat moves slow enough. I can read every one of them.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
See,
We
I
knew
would be
you'd do-
interested in doing that just for the show. I mean, the food could not be great, and it would still be fun.
Excuse me.
I love the videos I've seen where the guy makes the little volcano out of the onion
Benihana
rings.
style, yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's
So
cool. Yeah,
that's cool. And he's flipping stuff up in the air and stuff. Yeah, we'll have to put that on our list. I know this trip we're taking my daughter and her husband and
She's my daughter too.
all right, our daughter, I guess I really should say.
No, I do it all the time. It's habit. But yes.
So we probably won't be doing any table service locations this time. But looking forward maybe to Docking Bay 7 or Ronto Roasters.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting to see. I realize this is in a totally different park. We kind of got off the subject here.
But I have the right ears for it.
But
Today I am.
as it's
wearing
getting
my-
closer to our trip and getting closer to the end of August, I'm kind of getting fired up for our Galaxy's Edge.
Says the man that was not looking forward to going when it was so new to opening.
Well, I'm. It depends on. I realize Disneyland is going to be much different than Disney World. They handled it so well in Disneyland.
Yeah, they sure did.
I wish Disney World would do something.
Didn't I hear they were going to do the
I haven't heard anything for sure. I've heard a lot of rumors.
the window, the 4-hour window or whatever it is?
I would really hope they would do something like that. But I mean, we're
but
not
there's
going
probably a
until
lot more people too.
yeah, we're not going until October. So I'm hoping that maybe it's slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm hearing not, but whatever.
And I have to be real nice to her because I think I'm going to talk her into buying me a droid. You'll buy me a droid, baby?
Maybe. I'd like to do the lightsaber experience, but well, it's not any more expensive than the droids.
Yeah,
but-
it's twice
oh,
as expensive.
it's 200, isn't it? 199.
Yeah.
Yeah, my fault.
But
So-
after watching a video of the entire experience, it looks really fun.
Yeah.
And besides, what would be cooler than having crossed lightsabers hanging on your wall?
Yeah, they look really neat. So definitely probably not this trip. We both want a droid.
Yep, she wants a BB-8. I'm going to get an R2 style, I think.
But I have to come up with a cute name like Jenna did. I can't obviously take BB Grape. Or Great, or whatever it
Grape.
is she calls it, Grape. But the only thing after watching several people do that one, it's like, it looks a little hectic and crazy. So I'm glad that people have posted their experiences. So we can see what it's going to be like when we go do it. Kind of gives us a little heads up. It looks a little crazy to me, but still looks fun. Take home your little droid. It's like a build a droid, like build a bear.
Yep, it's Build-A-Bear for droids.
That's right.
But
We kind of got off subject.
yeah,
a little
we're
bit,
way off of our
that's
subject.
half the fun of these live streams. You get to talking. Bill
Well,
and I can
yeah,
talk about
yeah,
all
that
things
is true.
Disney forever.
We could talk Disney and
Now, don't you guys think we need to live down there so we can go all the time?
oh, don't encourage your guys.
Please encourage me. I'm trying. I just need to find somebody. I need to find somebody to stay with and come down there and apply for jobs in person. You see.
The problem is she doesn't realize how complicated it is to move.
Oh yes, I do. I've moved before. Michigan to Indiana.
Well, yeah.
And Indiana to Michigan first.
Well, yeah. Indiana to Michigan was
But
no
we had a
problem
lot
because we
less-
just got married. We didn't have any stuff.
Yeah, moving back, not only with 5 years worth of stuff and a 3-year-old was a little more complicated. Oh, and 2 dogs.
Yeah.
2 dogs. And now we have 3, but whatever. Anyway, inside information. Okay,
Oh,
Ross.
it's about the what he said about same team opening Disney World.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's true. Anyway.
But I think we've pretty much covered Epcot. I would live there my way.
I know
Well,
I've heard you say that before, Bob.
I'm
Shame
kind of
on
that
her.
way, Bob. I don't.
All right, we'll send Bill to your house, and you and I can move down to Florida, Bob.
I'm not sure.
I don't
wanna
think
go-
that would work.
I'm not sure I want to go any farther north.
I know I don't. I'm not far enough south.
Um,
That's funny. But yeah, I get that. I mean, I do. I understand.
I guess I could do Florida as long as I had air conditioning.
Yeah.
As I've gotten
I mean,
older,
if you're comparing, it's really not. The
Well,
temperature.
yeah, I mean-
right now it's as hot down there as it is here, or vice versa.
I was doing some work outside today installing a security camera.
Yeah,
and,
because our cars got broken into.
I mean, it wasn't too bad. I had to come inside and I wouldn't take all my tools out in one trip, so I had to keep coming inside and getting stuff. That way I could sit down and cool off for a minute.
If you had an air-conditioned garage, it might not have been a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, not our garage. Yes, Minnesota is in the Arctic tundra.
See, I don't
Yeah.
think the bugs would bother me. Well, maybe the love bugs, because
No,
those are a
bugs
pain.
don't bother me,
But
but I get it.
and the mosquitoes the size of alligators. But
And alligators the size
it's
of elephants.
Disney Dan.
Dan,
Oh my God, this has been the
hi.
best live stream
You
ever.
need to make Dan a mod.
Not only was our John here, Disney Dan is here, and I would make him a mod, but I don't know how to do it from here.
And I guess Bob and Dean aren't mods either. So they probably should be too.
Well, I made Ross one. I'll have to work on that.
Yeah.
I know I can add in mods later. I just don't know how to do it on Streamlabs. Anyway, Dan, thanks for joining us. I appreciate
Yeah.
it. Congratulations on your latest subscriber goal.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I would hope that someday I might make 500. It's kind of slow going. I've been stuck around 450 forever.
We're
it
getting
seems
close
like it.
though, so maybe you guys can shout us out if you haven't already.
But I'm sure that Dan knows all about
I
living in
know.
Florida.
It is amazing.
At least briefly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great that you're here, Dan. Did you ever hear listening about Clinical Beverly's on? You're funny, Ross. Why aren't you getting the live feed there?
I don't know. You're getting the chat on your phone quicker than
Yeah.
I'm getting it on the.
Yeah.
That's just not fair. There it is.
Yeah. It's slow, I guess. Well, you went to live chat and
Well, yeah, yeah. I'll explain that later.
okay. Well, we do too, Dan, and we can't make every single live stream out there. We try to watch as much stuff as we can, but everybody, not only who's joining us today, but that we know through Resort TV One, and have picked up a few others from some of your live streams and posts and whatnot. It's a great community, family friendly, nice people, and very welcoming. So anyway, thank you for being part of our family.
I don't know, Bob. I'm not sure that would be much of a challenge. I could drink an awful lot of Melon Frosty.
Bob, you don't like Melon Frosty? I think Melon Frosty is the chaser to Beverly. Yeah, exactly, Ross. You're
Yeah,
right about
that's
that.
probably
Yeah.
true, Ross.
Now, years and years ago, where the Starbucks was the
Mountain View.
Fountain View little cafe thingy, and I used to go in there and I would get a coffee, their coffee, probably Joffrey's or something, and then they had these little cookies that were just to die for, and I would always get one. I'm not a big sweets person, but I loved these little cookies with my coffee, and I don't remember now what they were. And then they closed it, and then they made it Starbucks, which I love Starbucks too. But
Wonder
it was the
what
experience.
Melon Frosty would taste like with, say, a shot of rum in it.
Not rum, vodka.
No, I don't like vodka that much.
I
But
know.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than Dole Whip with a shot of rum in it.
That's funny,
But
Snow
that's like
White.
way off the subject.
That's funny. Yeah, it is really sweet. Snow
Well,
White.
I'm sorry. Well, for me, you can't get sweet enough.
And I'm just the opposite. I'm not a huge
A club
sweet
coffee. Well, now I can drink some coffee too.
pickle juice challenge.
Not a problem.
He
I
could
could
do
I
that.
could be drinking pickle juice.
I'd have trouble with that, especially in those cups.
Tell you a little story about me.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Snow,
People would all the
exactly.
time give me candy that was like ultra sour, and figuring that they were playing a joke on me. And I'd put it in my mouth and suck on it, and I'd say, "You got anything that's more sour?" When I was a kid, I could pick up a lemon and eat a lemon like most people eat an apple.
Bill is funny.
I am unique,
Well, that too.
as they say, or unique, but that's kind of like the store. It does no, that's Uniqlo. at Disney
Uniqlo.
Springs. Glow. What a glow.
Glow. Uniglow.
Whatever.
Or
Some store that I don't ever
unicorn.
go into. I don't do shopping.
I do.
I see. That's the difference between her and I.
One of many.
One of many differences. She does shopping. I do buying.
Oh, I buy when I shop.
Well, no, you go shopping to buy one specific thing,
And look at lots of different.
and it takes you like 2 hours. I could go and do my Christmas shopping. You sneak up on him. Oh God, Ross, that is so bad.
Too funny.
I could do my Christmas shopping in one trip, usually, in less than an hour, everything I needed to buy. Because I've already done all the shopping before I ever leave the house. That's what the interweb is for.
Well, I have to admit,
And now I don't even leave the house because you can buy online.
yeah, I do so much with Amazon. If I mean, I don't do much right now at all, but Amazon and I think that's one reason I like to shop at Disney, even though you see a lot of the same stuff in all the different stores. It's just I'm getting out there and shopping, which I don't do at home anymore too much, which I hate at Christmas time.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And that's
the word.
cool about the shops at World Showcase. All the different, Germany has its shop, France has all the different ethnicities.
Ethnicities?
That words are hard.
Words are hard.
Yeah, and they're
That
different
is, although,
cultures and
back to the subject of Epcot, and I know Jenna's been doing it with Dale.
oh yeah,
I've been.
we thought about it.
I don't necessarily will video it, although I might. It might be something I could throw up on the channel. But I like the idea of
Thank you, Dan, for joining us. We really, really appreciate it. And thanks for shouting us out.
oh, thank you. I really appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah. It was great you could join us for a little bit.
And we'll talk to you later. Breaking news.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That was funny, Ross.
Yeah, I hear that.
Some people didn't think that was too funny. Oh, I love it. That's
Oh,
great.
Lord.
Yeah.
This is starting to get, anyway,
This
Picking
is
a
Ross's comedy hour.
yeah, we may have to start giving Ross time out.
We need to have Ross go online and we go online and we go, what is it that they
Oh, yeah, we have a
Yeah.
have a collab.
have a collab?
Oh
yeah,
we,
yeah, yeah,
we,
yeah.
we could
That would be way fun.
be
and
a
even-
new comedy team we get going.
Yeah.
But we'll wrap this up here in a minute. We've been at this for almost an hour, and I'm sure everybody's probably tired of me for now. By
No,
now.
you're funny, Ross. We enjoy it.
But I like the idea of, and we may start doing it this trip, depending on how things go, is picking a country and getting a bunch of different snacks from that country and just like testing out all the snacks around the world.
Yeah, because, even though it's kind of copying what Jenna and Dale are doing, which I think everybody has their own unique spin on how things taste and whatever. Plus, we all like different things. So I don't think it would be a big deal if we kind of copied them a little bit.
No,
I don't think anybody would
I have to go
mind
back
that.
and rewatch all her videos and make sure we got different snacks than she did.
Yeah, exactly, Ross. We need to we go back and watch them all and then say, we can't get that because Jenna did that.
Yeah, we have to make a list. Can't get that one. Can't get that one. Can't get that one.
Well, fortunately, in a lot of countries, there's lots of choices.
Especially Japan.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've been doing this for almost an hour, and we need to get ready and think about having dinner before Resort TV 1 goes live. And
Oh, yeah, it's Friday.
it is Friday. What day is it?
It's Friday.
Yeah.
I forget what he says.
I forget what he says.
We watch it all the time.
But I'm sure we'll see all of you.
He says, guess what day it is?
Guess what day it is. Bizarre foods.
We love
I like that, Ross. That's
Oh,
pretty good.
hey, that is a good idea. What's the guy that does?
I can't remember his name. I know exactly. who
Bizarre
you're talking-
Foods, yeah. Sometimes I don't like to watch him. Ooh.
I'm sure we'll see all you in chat, on the chat with Resort TV 1 tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight.
I want to thank everybody that took time out of their Friday afternoon to join us. I know that depending on
Oh yeah, Bob. Thank you.
depending on what
Oh yes,
happens
Ross.
with Lori getting a job, if she has to start working on Fridays,
It'll be just him again. You won't get me.
we'll have to
Or we'll change it.
either
We
I'll
talked about changing it.
be just me, or we've talked about doing something on Saturday. Maybe we might be able to get a few more viewers if we did it on a Saturday. But
And-
I know
and we
there's a lot
might-
more competition too.
And also, we might consider. We'd have to think about the logistics, but we might consider doing them from somewhere else, out somewhere.
Well, yeah, I've considered that. If we find somewhere cool that we want to go and we think we could live stream it.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for everybody. We appreciate everybody. Thanks for joining us. And as always, this has been an odd
Bye,
production.
everybody.
Thanks for watching.